You know those movies where like all the critics love it and then you watch the trailer and you say, hey, this is probably just gonna be Oscar baity, slow burning, well acted meh. That was me with A Most Violent Year, and A Most Violent Year is Oscar baity, well intended, well acted, meh. So A Most Violent Year is the third film from J.C. Chandor. It stars Oscar Isaac, Jessica Chastain, David Oyelowo, and Elba Brooks, and it is about a man who is trying to control and raise his oil company in 1981 New York City, which, if the clever title did not imply, is the most violent year in the history of New York City, with the most rapes, murders, and violent crimes, which apparently including a lot of oil truck jackings. So like I said in the intro, The Most Violent Year is very well acted, and it is very well intentioned, and Chandor does have a few scenes that the script really does pop, but overall the movie was exactly what I thought it was going to be when I saw the trailer. What that is a very slow burning film with very little payoff at the end. The movie really seems like it's going to be building towards something great, and there are a couple moments where you get on the edge of your seat because you feel like either Oscar Isaac's going to explode at a group of people because he's finally had enough, or someone's going to finally get a character back for some way they screwed them over, and none of these things really ever come to a head. The movie's called A Most Violent Year, but there's very little violence. However, it does feel like the movie lasts a year long. Oscar Isaac, he was in 2013's Inside Llewyn Davis, and when I saw that movie back then, it was the exact same thing as this, where it's well intentioned and it's well acted, but it just doesn't do enough to keep you entertained if you are not into that type of movie. And I'm into a lot of movies, and slow burners, with the exception of Foxcatcher, are not my type of movies. Much like Inside Llewyn Davis, Oscar Isaac is really the only reason that I kept caring what was happening to the characters. Even Jessica Chastain, who the critics loved, and they say she got snubbed for an Oscar, I don't get it. She's really not in the movie all too much. She plays a part at the end, and her role is really spoiled by the trailer as to what she is to Oscar Isaac and what she is to the movie as a whole. But I wasn't really invested in anyone besides Oscar Isaac. You do root for his character because he's trying to be an honest businessman, but at the same time he's starting to realize you can't be an honest businessman and be at the top, because especially in 1981 New York City, everyone is trying just to cheat and like illegalize their way to the top. I don't think illegalize is a word. There are a couple scenes in this movie that do pop. In the trailer, when they investigate Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain's house during their kid's birthday party, that scene is really intense because they're getting rid of evidence from the police. There's scenes at the end where all of it's starting to build up to what you think is going to be a fantastical ending, but then the movie just kind of ends, and it's one of those endings where you're sitting there and you're just like, sure? Overall, if you wanted to see A Most Violent Year, you'll probably like A Most Violent Year. I've seen in the trailers that some people say it's the next Godfather, and to that I say, what are you smoking? And where could I get it? Because it's obviously great stuff. So Most Violent Year is well acted. There are some really well written scenes. J.C. Chandor definitely is a director to watch. This is just not his Godfather. This is not a great movie. It just not much works, and it doesn't quite know what it wants to fully accomplish and reach that level that it clearly is striving for with its cast and setting. That is my review of A Most Violent Year. Leave what you thought about the movie down there. Also down there somewhere, like it. Also subscribe. I think everything's down there because YouTube just doesn't know what it wants to do. Just like the movie. Well, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.